Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum, how are you all? I hope you are well. Welcome back my channel in this new video. Today's video. So let's straight. The dark secret of sexuality and love in Stoicism. Stoicism, founded by Zeno of Citium in the early 3rd century BCE, is one of the most influential schools of philosophy in Western thought. Known for its teachings on virtue, rationality, and emotional resilience, Stoicism emphasizes the importance of living in harmony with nature and cultivating inner peace through mastery over one's desires, emotions, and actions. Yet, when it comes to human sexuality and love, Stoicism offers a nuanced and often underappreciated perspective that is far more complex than the conventional image of detached rationalism. There exists a dark secret within Stoic philosophy concerning the way it views love, sexuality, and desire. One that challenges contemporary understandings of intimacy, pleasure, and human connection. This essay will delve into the relationship between Stoicism and these profound human experiences, examining the Stoic teachings on love and sexuality, and shedding light on the underlying moral framework that reveals a hidden, perhaps uncomfortable truth about human desire and its place in a virtuous life. Stoic views on desire and the nature of happiness. At the core of Stoic thought is the belief that happiness, or eudaimonia, is achieved through living in accordance with nature and exercising reason. The Stoics view emotions, including desires related to sexuality and love, as disturbances that can prevent us from attaining true happiness. The Stoics believed that while we cannot always control the external circumstances of life, we can always control our responses to them, especially when it comes to internal states like desires and passions. Desires, including sexual desire, are seen as a natural part of the human condition. However, they are not inherently good or bad. Instead, they are neutral, and how we engage with them determines their moral value. Stoic philosophy teaches that if we allow ourselves to be dominated by desires, we risk falling into the trap of pursuing fleeting pleasures that can never provide lasting fulfillment. Hence, sexual and romantic desires, while natural, should not be allowed to overshadow the pursuit of virtue. For Stoics, the true goal is to achieve inner tranquility by learning to be indifferent to external desires and pleasures. This detachment from the passions is not about renouncing sexuality or love entirely, but about cultivating the wisdom to recognize their transitory nature. The Stoic concept of apatheia refers to a state of being free from irrational desires and emotional turmoil. In this sense, sexual desire must be carefully controlled and not allowed to define one's identity or emotional state. The dark secret of love in Stoicism. When it comes to love, Stoicism is often misunderstood. In popular culture, love is often portrayed as the ultimate source of happiness and meaning, but the Stoics take a more measured approach to this emotional state. Love, especially romantic love, is regarded with skepticism favorably because it fosters mutual respect and intellectual growth. Eros, romantic love, is seen as potentially problematic due to its intense, often irrational nature. One of the darkest aspects of Stoic thought is its view of romantic love, particularly the way it perceives love as a potential source of enslavement. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus famously argued that romantic love can lead to suffering because we become emotionally attached to someone or something external, making our happiness contingent upon them. This attachment creates a vulnerability that undermines our freedom, as our emotional state becomes dependent on someone else's actions, which are beyond our control. In contrast, the Stoics advocate for cosmic love, a universal affection that transcends individual attachment. This form of love does not rely on the other person to fulfill us or provide meaning to our lives. Instead, it is based on rational understanding and empathy for the shared human experience. It is a love grounded in virtue and the recognition that all people are part of a larger cosmic order. Sexuality and the Stoic concept of self-control. The Stoics have a specific view of human sexuality, emphasizing the importance of self-control and moderation. Sexual acts, like other bodily desires, are seen as expressions of natural impulses that can be either regulated or indulged. In the Stoic view, indulging in excessive or disordered sexual activity is a form of self-sabotage, as it distracts the individual from the higher goal of living virtuously. Seneca, one of the most prominent Stoic philosophers, wrote extensively on the importance of mastering physical desires, including those related to sexuality. He argued that the person who is ruled by their desires, whether for food, sex, or other pleasures, is not free but is a slave to their passions. In this context, sexual desire is viewed as a potential pitfall on the road to virtue. However, the Stoic approach to sexuality is not one of outright asceticism or celibacy. The Stoics do not reject sexual intimacy as inherently bad, but rather advise that it should be practiced within the context of rationality, moderation, and mutual respect. The goal is not to eliminate desire, but to transform it into something that serves the greater good, namely the cultivation of wisdom, virtue, and inner peace. This moderation extends to all forms of sexual expression. For instance, the Stoics would likely caution against excessive attachment to physical beauty or the pursuit of sex for pleasure alone. In the Stoic worldview, love and sexuality should never become ends in themselves. Instead, they must be seen as part of the larger journey toward moral improvement and rational living. The paradox of the Stoic approach to love and sexuality. One of the most paradoxical aspects of Stoic thought is its simultaneous embrace and rejection of love and sexuality. On the one hand, the Stoics acknowledge that love, friendship, and sexual relationships to define their sense of self or happiness. In this sense, Stoic philosophy stands in stark contrast to modern notions of love and romance, which often equate love with ultimate fulfillment and personal identity. The Stoics would argue that love and sexuality can never provide the lasting contentment that comes from the cultivation of virtue, wisdom, and self-control. The Stoic solution: transforming desire into virtue. The Stoic response to the challenge of love and sexuality is not to suppress or deny these aspects of human experience, but to transform them. The key is to view desire as an opportunity for moral growth, a means of practicing self-control and exercising reason. For the Stoic, the ideal relationship to sexuality and love is one where these desires are acknowledged but not allowed to dominate the individual's life. Rather than seeking fulfillment through external relationships or sexual encounters, the Stoic seeks inner peace through self-mastery and rational understanding. In this way, love and sexuality are not rejected outright but are recontextualized as part of a larger, more virtuous life. The Stoic approach is to embrace love and sexuality in a way that serves the greater goal of living in accordance with nature and achieving tranquility. Thus, the dark secret of Stoicism's view of love and sexuality is not that it denies the importance of these experiences, but that it asks individuals to look beyond them to something deeper: virtue, wisdom, and self-sufficiency. In the Stoic framework, love and sexuality are seen as transient forces that can either support or hinder the pursuit of a meaningful life. It is only by cultivating the inner strength to rise above these desires that one can achieve true freedom and happiness. Conclusion, the Stoic philosophy offers a profound and often uncomfortable perspective on love and sexuality, one that challenges the modern tendency to idolize romantic attachment and sexual pleasure as ultimate goals. While the Stoics do not reject these aspects of life, they argue that they must be approached with caution and viewed through the lens of rationality, virtue, and self-control. The dark secret of Stoicism's treatment of love and sexuality lies in its recognition of their potential to enslave the individual, turning them away from the pursuit of wisdom and tranquility. By cultivating emotional detachment and transforming desire into virtue, The Stoics offer a path toward true happiness, one that transcends fleeting pleasures and is rooted in the cultivation of inner peace.